Good day, everybody. It's a quarter to 3 on the 10th of April, 2025. And yeah, as usual, I'm in Minsk. Thought I'd just walk a little bit of a different way. I was kind of ducking in somewhere because it was a blizzard just a couple of minutes ago. It's got a nice doorway here on this. Stones. Design on the building. Interesting. Anyway, let me step back. Look at this building a little bit. I have an interest in architecture. Sorry about that. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you do. Anyway. Interesting designs on this building. Okay, the tariff wars are continuing. Yeah, after Trump moved the tariffs this time to, what was it? Can't keep track anymore. 104%. Then China raised theirs. I think what was that to 84%. And then Trump turned around and said, okay, well, we do you one better. We'll raise you one. And he went up to, what was it, 125% now. And I don't know, he put a pause on some tariffs because a lot of people are suffering. People as well as companies and countries and all of that. And he said, well, his words, he says that they're coming to kiss his ass. All these countries are coming to kiss his ass. And he says even China's coming and they want a deal. You know, they might. I don't know. You never know. And as you know, they have certain people, I don't think China, but you know, Ursula von der Leyen, oh, we're gonna battle them and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Who knows what's happening to Europe anyway? They're pretty well screwed up. They screwed up everything. You got some really, I don't know. I wonder what the criteria is to be a leader. I mean, except for you have to be in the Hate Russia Club. You have to hate Russia. You know, you can't get in no matter what unless you hate Russia. But you have to be probably pretty damn stupid too. Like look at Ursula von der Leyen. I mean, talk about like computer chips out of washing machines. I mean, what does she have some advisors that are giving her this stuff? And then she kept on going. And then you got Zelensky, you know, who's kind of used to be in the East. He's talking about invisible Korean soldiers and the crap that he comes up with. I don't know. It's just like you have to be a complete idiot, I guess. Wow, look at this building. I'll get up there. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really been in this area right here, so it's always going to be interesting. See new buildings, new architecture. Okay. And I'll tell you what, China, if they want a way out of this, I'll tell you, I would, if I were them, and I don't know when the next time is, maybe it's going to be not until May 9th. I don't know. When is the next time that Xi is going to meet Putin? And a lot of people don't know about this. It's kind of strange. I was in my class, and we were talking about St. Petersburg. That's kind of the subject. And, you know, they're talking about all the well-known people, Dostoevsky, and, you know, that Peter the Great founded it, Peter the First, and Tolstoy, all these people that are from St. Petersburg. And I said Putin, and the teacher said, oh no, that's Moscow. I said, no, that's Putin. I mean that's St. Petersburg and all that. I said he went to law school first there, and then he went to school in economics and all that, and no, she's Moscow. And I looked it up afterwards, and he's from St. Petersburg. So it's pretty weird. I know something that the teacher doesn't know about Russia even. Anyway, I don't want to sit around and brag because I just got that one right. It's probably because she's been in Moscow for quite some time. Well, it's kind of a nice building. And you know, I was on the subject of Putin. So anyways, Putin had a degree in law at first, and then later on, years later, just before he got into government, I think he graduated maybe from his economics degree. I think it was 1997. So, and he's really, really good. He's better as an economist, of course, than a lawyer. So, but he's a smart guy. This hammer and sickle up on the top up here. Some guy with a book. Girl with a book. I wonder. There's just. I don't want to go here when they're building or doing something here, but maybe it's probably some kind of a school. I'm just interested. Sorry about that, you guys. Nice weather. It's always got to be written in friggin' Belarusian. I don't know. Wait a minute. That's one's in Russian and one's in Belarusian. Oh,
你，
yeah, it's quite nasty. Must be a government building. I don't know. My Russian isn't that good enough yet, I guess. It's kind of a government kind of name. Oh no, somebody's getting a ticket. Taxi driver. I just saw another person getting a ticket down here, so I guess maybe they have speed traps in Belarus as well. So, police car. Okay. Keep on going. Talk about the news. Okay. Anyway, Trump announced a pause, and one strange thing that it came out a little bit later. I have it at the back of my news. You know, I kind of do this chronologically when I'm reading different articles and all that, but I'll mention it right now. One of the biggest people that were suffering, the biggest people, companies, is Amazon. Jeff Bezos, I guess they are losing or going to lose huge, and a lot of these Chinese people that are suppliers on Amazon are threatening to pull out because of these sanctions. So Amazon, you know, and Jeff Bezos backed Donald Trump for presidency, and I don't know if they're kind of like buddies now a little bit, but there's also a lot of other companies, so they're going to lose, and that's not very nice. And Trump, he's putting on a happy face. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, I got something in my eye. And telling everybody not to panic. So, and I don't know, maybe he's right. I don't know. Oh, why do I have sensitive eyes? Gosh. Okay, Sersky, the head of the military in Ukraine, he's saying he needs 30,000 new soldiers every month, and they're having a hard time getting them. So there's still a lot of videos of things going around with them snapping people up off the streets, you know, and some of the people are getting away even. And then I told you guys about one where the guy he died when they were trying to take him off the streets. You know, and then they're trying to revive him. In fact, I'm going to go over to that park. It's a little bit too noisy here. Look at that old truck there. Wow. Okay. Yeah, 30,000. Send it to the meat grinder. Gosh. I mean, like, Elon Musk was just saying something the other day, and he was basically saying it's disgusting. These people are really disgusting. And the truth of the matter is, just think if they didn't do what's going on now, they would be an independent country, and they're fighting to lose their independence is basically what it looks like. And a lot of people in the United States, a lot of the big generals, they say they could not beat Russia in a war. And Zelensky thinks he's going to get the United States in. And he said, well, he's going to have to be happy with getting Europe in. Yeah, the goal is probably to dominate Russia at some point in time in the future. You know, this is that ideology I was telling you guys about, you know. Okay, I'll get into that just a little bit here now. Yeah, this whole, like I said, the whole war is nothing. It's nothing about Ukraine. It's not about any kind of sovereignty or nothing like that. It is for the ideology. This is all ideology. This is to hold the master race, Lebensraum sort of crap. I mean, and they're the ones that are doing it. Putin didn't want anything to do with this war, but they just kept on killing those people in the Donbass, which are Russians, and they kept asking Putin, come on, get in. I mean, they're killing our children, they're bombing the school buses and all. And of course, it was never, as you guys know, it was never even mentioned in the West. You know, oh, shh, don't talk, don't say, because we have our economic interests in the government of Ukraine. So it's, don't mention that they're killing thousands and thousands of people. Oh, it's only just about 14,000 that they killed in those years. Well, that's just a drop in the bucket. When you look at Israel, maybe it is, in a very short time, they had 30,000, I don't know how many are dead, 40,000 innocent people now from Israel in just a short time. Yeah. And of course, you guys heard about that. I think I mentioned that yesterday. They found 2 Chinese guys. Oh gosh, that means the Chinese are involved. 2 Chinese, I don't even know if they're soldiers. 2 Chinese. And then Zelensky, I think he put out a tweet yeah, it was, I think, yeah, it was just yesterday. Or maybe it was this morning, early this morning. And he says, oh, they know about 150 Chinese. Oh, boy, the most populous country on earth. They have billions of people, and there's 150 of them somewhere has something to do with the Ukraine, you know, but they didn't even have proof. He doesn't even show any proof for that. I don't even know about the 2 Chinese. Well, I'm just going to take his word for it, say there is 2 Chinese. I'll even take his word for 150. Well, that's a friggin' drop in the bucket, a total drop in the bucket compared to how many Chinese there are in the world. And does that prove that the Chinese government is involved? To me, it proves that they're not involved. If the Chinese government wanted to be involved, I think there'd be a heck of a lot more than 10 or 2 or whatever the heck Zelensky's talking about. 150. That's just ridiculous. You guys all know that too. So it's just funny. I don't know. Sorry about laughing. And then you ask about how many Americans have they found? And you know, just again, they found British people, and they're finding these people all over the place. But the difference is that the British are involved. They are involved, and they do have soldiers, and the British do that all the time. Before a war officially starts, the British always have soldiers there. They're worse than the Americans. The Americans have I would call them scouts. As a matter of fact, I had a guy in my platoon. I was a sergeant of a squad, and he was a sergeant as well. I was a squad leader though, but he he was a sniper. No, he was a scout. He was a scout in his former military occupational specialty. You know. Anyway, I didn't talk to him much about that. The guy's sleeping all the time. Okay. Yeah. What was this precise data? Oh, let's see. Oh, that's right. Zelensky said he had precise data. There's precise data of the 150. You know, I guess they're coming up with just some new words or something. At least he's changing it up a little bit, instead of like you watch the news media in the United States and they use the same cliches for every single station, you know, about the fake news that they come out. You know, I don't know who that's put out with, the AP or Reuters or something. They give you the fake phrases that they got to put out, you know, because, I don't know, somebody sits in a room, some expert that went to some university somewhere and tried to think of which words are the ones that has the most effect on people. So those are the ones we're going to use. Those are the ones we're going to use when we try to brainwash and continue to indoctrinate the people in the English language, not just the Americans. Anybody that speaks the English language that's watching this stuff. Tell I'm not one of those people that give them the right words, huh? Yes, okay. Precise data. Zelensky's learning. You know, the Ukrainians are in on this stuff too. They're pretty good in the propaganda stuff. I guess, you know, they learned from the U.S. Okay. Yes, okay, what else? Hegseth. The guy with the tattoos. The guy's, what is he, head of the Defense Department. He said the U.S. is taking back the Panama Canal, and he was virtually saying from the evil Chinese, you know, demonizing China. I don't know, Trump, he kind of does it sometimes, and then he says, oh, and Xi is a smart guy, and you never know what the heck Trump is getting at. I don't know, I kind of have him figured out, but I can't really put my finger on it. And a lot of other people are talking, like Paul Craig Roberts. I'll talk about him in a minute here, what he was saying about Donald Trump and how he operates. Tucker, he was talking with Alex Jones, you know, and most of these people in the media, they don't want to talk to Alex Jones because the guy's been right most of the time. You know, sometimes he gets a little bit exaggerative and all that, and of course, really trying to take him down. What was his fine for this thing about Sandy Hook? $1 billion, things like that. Never going to pay that back. I don't know. I don't even know where to find him so much anymore because they've taken him down off of everything. Yeah, okay. Tucker, he was saying to Alex Jones that most of this war against Russia is spiritual. It's for spiritual reasons. So we're talking here about the West because it's a proxy war, and we all know it's a proxy war. And he said it's spiritual. That was Tucker, because Russia is a very Christian country, and they're not just Christian. And it's a well-known fact. They also support Muslims and Jews. They support all religions, and people get along here. And I don't understand why it is in the West, you know, which was primarily Christian, you know, that they try to make you hate the Jews well, not the Jews, excuse me, I got that one backwards. They try to get you to hate the Muslims and Buddhas or everybody else, and but they do teach us sort of subservience to Judaism, that Christians should be subservient to Judaism. I've noticed that in the West. And like over here, they don't do that. They don't even look at religion as being anything that anybody should dominate with. But I don't know. And in the West, it's like they're not even for Christians. They're not for anything anymore over there. They're for LGBT. Very strange stuff over in the United States now. And I'm not even saying that you have to go with any kind of religion, but you have to respect them, you know. And I don't know, stuff going on in the West, not just the United States, but even in Germany. It's just, yeah, it's kind of strange, you know. I think a lot of people they had a theory that it was the Soros bands trying to get everybody to fight against each other. And, you know, not just Soros, but maybe his group, so that you don't fight against the rich, so you're too busy fighting each other to go after the real culprits, you know, the rich people and the politicians that are sending us off to war. So we'll fight each other. It's kind of like what the Israelis do. They get their enemies to fight each other, and so they just can kick back, and maybe at the end come back and take the spoils after everybody else is so badly weakened. So I don't know. I have a feeling that's what they're trying to do right now with Russia and Ukraine. Anyway, it's more of a feeling. It's, you know, who was it? Well, Lindsey Graham, he's saying he's really grateful that they're killing the Russians, but I think he's grateful also, and I know he's grateful that the Ukrainians are dying too. He doesn't like them. What he kind of when Trump became president, what was it? He sort of, and what was he saying? It was, I can't even remember anymore. But anyway, he was turning on the Ukrainians. So, you know, I don't even know if he has any interest in the Ukrainians anymore. So let's show you some different places here, some different angles. It's like some kind of a nice little park here. Okay, what else we got here? Yes, I think what I was going to say is it's a lot of this is they try to use the idea of God, like it's like you look at Netanyahu, and you know, Judaism, but I don't think I mean, who could be doing that sort of a thing? And I think maybe they try to make an excuse for it by saying Palestinians are not human beings. It's just like the Russians to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians say that the Russians are not human beings, but they're species. Zelensky says it himself. So then it's okay to be killing them. But I don't know. I haven't even heard. Zelensky's supposed to be Jewish, but I don't know. I haven't heard him mention even anything about that. Never seen him in a church. That doesn't matter so much, really, but it's just their actions, what they do. It doesn't matter if they go into a church or whatever. Not even what they say, but, you know, grabbing your people off the street and sending them to certain death. I don't know. That doesn't seem to jive with any kind of spirituality to me. I don't know. Maybe trying to reunite them with their maker. But these people, they mostly like power. That's their religion, power, and their greed, like money. I think Mike Rivero from WhatReallyHappened.com, he's kind of the guy that I learned from. I think he calls them money junkies. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay, what else? I even tried once. I called into his podcast, and but they didn't catch it. His wife is a Christian, and I think Mike Rivero is an atheist. But I called in, and I was telling them that it seems like there's a war on Christianity, and I was talking about that during the time of the Syrian war. And you know, they were doing some horrendous things. And these people are masquerading as if they're Muslim fundamentalists, which they didn't really turn out to be. And they were killing Muslims, and they were killing Christians, a lot of them. And as we all know, it turns out that a lot of them, you know, are from Britain and all. And I think a lot of them are probably from Israel too. I don't know. I'm just not sure so much about the Israel thing, but the Israelis were definitely helping these people called ISIS. And there was a proxy war. There's no doubt about it, and Israel was involved in that one as well. So, but you guys know that. Okay, Paul Craig Roberts. I said I was going to talk about that, and Paul Craig Roberts, he's a professor and a doctor of economics, professor of chemistry, a doctor of economics. He was the assistant secretary of the Treasury under Ronald Reagan. I think he was also in the Treasury under Jimmy Carter. And yeah, he's still kind of active. I don't even know how old he is anymore, but he's sometimes you can talk about him. They call him the father of Reaganomics, Reaganomics. And yeah, he's really big into supply side economics, and he's got some high awards for, he's really, really good in economics. And he says that what Trump is trying to do is mostly he's just trying to provide a threat of tariffs. Of course, he has been putting tariffs on a lot of countries. He said the only difference is it's Canada and Western Europe. And then there was some talk about Western Europe and Canada joining together against the U.S., but I don't think that's going to happen, because Europe, for the most part, they hate Canada as well. That was from the Biden years. So, they were puppets of the Biden regime, and they were told by Biden to dislike China, so they do. So that's what that's all about too. I don't know if they can just mend bridges. Remember when Ursula von der Leyen went to China, and I think she had to take a taxi to the airport and all that kind of stuff when she was leaving. I don't know. So they don't. The Chinese don't like them very much. So, but maybe the enemy of my enemy's friend is my best friend or something. No. The enemy of my enemy is my best friend. I don't know. Anyway. Yes, I said that about Amazon already. Oh, Megyn Kelly, she was coming out. And I said this before, And it's like, but she said it's like unexplainable where Obama got all of his money, when he was the president, because he left office much richer than when he came in. And it's like, well, how in the heck do you do that? You get this $400,000 is what the salary of the United States president is, and they're supposed to pay for everything with that. And of course, that includes even if his, and I don't even know if it's allowed, because that would call misappropriation if you put your daughter on Air Force One when she goes on vacation to Mexico. But Obama could do anything. As a matter of fact, even when he was out of office, when Trump came in after him, Obama was still using Air Force One for some time afterwards. I don't know, very strange. But I think he came in, he was like 2.5 million, and he left like with 27 million, Obama. That's quite a jump. And you didn't make that much in being president, that's for sure, even if he's in there for 8 years. Yeah. Even if you didn't spend all that money where you're supposed to spend it, like the staff of the White House and everything. Okay. Oh, Musk again was talking about these taxes, which is incredible. About there's people that are claiming some sort of I don't know if it's Social Security or anyway, they're claiming some money from the United States government, and they have a birthday of 2054. And they're claiming, I think, $41,000, and their birthday is 2054. So in other words, they're not born yet, and they're trying to get money from the United States. He was already talking about these people that are over 115 years old. I mean, he's got like thousands of them. They're still getting money. It's pretty incredible. I don't know who's doing all this stuff. The Democrats, they had all sorts of people voting that were dead, been dead for 100 years, and they were voting for the Democrats, out of the grave. I don't know if they dug them up and gave them some kind of things to fill out or whatever. But I was already talking anyway about Zelensky, and talking about these North Korean soldiers and all that nobody's ever seen. And I think it's very, very possible that they did get a flux capacitor. They went into the future and all that. And I think maybe they're bringing these people back with them, and that's why they're claiming this money, that Elon Musk is talking about. It's because it's really could happen, But anyway, I guess the big message is that apparently all these people, and like I said, you don't even have to be religious, but these people, they have the ones that are in charge, and there's a lot of stuff going out right now, and they're talking about some big mega rich people. There was something on RT, I believe, or it was a Sputnik, about a lot of these people and these companies, these corporations that have far more money than countries do, like BlackRock, and there's a lot of them. And anyhow, none of these people have anything to do with religion anyway, but it's I don't know, a lot of people are saying that that's like a war on God right now, amongst other things. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't have anything more today to say. How short is this? Oh, it's another short video. That's pretty good. At least I can get you guys out of here early. You can look and enjoy the park and enjoy the dumpsters here. Actually, you know, this one's this looks kind of cool, this green color, green and black. I like that mixture anyway. It looks pretty cool, even if it's just a dumpster. Anyway, okay, people, thanks for joining me. And like I say, when I'm getting out of school, I'll be a little bit more active. I'll be maybe doing a few more things, unless I get some other sort of an occupation, and I eventually have to do that. And but I want to make a couple trips, maybe go to Borisov, like I said, pretty soon. And I don't really even know what's there. Maybe there's a bunch of houses or buildings, and maybe these high rises like this over there, where they used to have the battleground where Napoleon was defeated. And I'd have been past the house of the general, like I said, in Volkovysk. I mentioned that. And maybe I'll go there again sometime. I like Volkovysk. And there's a part there called the Swedish Mountain, and at one point in time there was ancient peoples living in Belarus at that place. And when that was a part of Lithuania, I believe it was at that time. I don't know. I know that the Lithuanian royalty or something would go there, and I guess that's where they had their weddings sometimes and all that. But they call it Swedish Mountain. You can look that up in Volkovysk, Belarus. So, okay, that's it for the day. And thanks for joining me, people, and I'll see you on the next one. So, bye-bye.